All right. To whoever's watching this recording in the future, I'm sorry you missed the first 10 minutes of this webinar. More than that. But I guess we'll go over it again just for them. So essentially, odd NZD, up on the weekly, we're looking at a larger symmetrical triangle. Because this has been tested so many times, 1, 2, 3, 6 times, this is something we're looking at selling extremely long term. So at this point, it's still making us push down because this is the weekly time frame. So, on the 4 hour, it's still going to be making a little bit of a push down.
So I have a question. Where would you take this? I know you're going to wait for it to retest, right? To come up and retest. But where would you, after the retest and then the confirmation, that's going to be the confirmation?
If you go to...
And what our chart do?
Yeah, go up on the daily and then draw a trend line connecting all of these wicks on the bottom. And then you'll come down and you'll have a point. This stays in the 4 hour. You'll have a point that it'll come down, it'll make its consolidation, make, double top, double bottom,
head
and shoulders or whatever. It'll come up and then, it'll make, I'm not saying it'll make a lot of structure, but it's, it'll give you an idea of
where it's gonna go,
where to enter. Because you'll be able to enter anywhere in this area because of your, you're using a kind of a smaller lot size because it's a larger account,
right?
Like a longer term trade. So you're using smaller lot size, and you're not too worried because you're able to place a stop loss way above because our take profit is way far below or further down. Right. So anywhere in this area, whenever it's retesting, is whenever I'll place the majority of my trades. So that's kind of where we're waiting on, for that to come back up. The other pairs we are looking at, Euro USD. We've been looking at for Lord knows how long, but essentially it's a head and shoulders up on the weekly time frame. So we have our left shoulder, head, right shoulder.
Yeah, I see that.
So at this point in time, what we were waiting on is because whenever it was at this level, we didn't know if it was going to make its break or if it was going to come back up one more time, before it actually dropped. So that's kind of what we were waiting on. We were waiting on this neckline to actually be broken. And same thing, break, retest, we'd place our sell. So at this point in time, on the 4 hour, there is actually a symmetrical triangle being formed. So for us to really enter this trade, it's like we know either two things are going to happen. Either this is going to break below this neckline, and once that happens, we wait for it to come back up and retest and then place our sell. Or we know it's going to come back up one more time.
Until buy.
Yeah, before it drops back down.
So you would take the buy if it comes back up?
Yeah,
or would you
if it breaks.
If it breaks.
Because if it does break this point, say it comes up here, this would be an inverse head and shoulders.
Yeah.
So, see what I mean? It kind of comes with when you understand what the different patterns are and how they work. It's pretty easy to tell what's going to happen, and then just focus on, making an accurate depiction of where your neckline is, or your trend lines or whatever on the triangles, because this is invested, you know, here, 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 and here. So we know once it does break that point, you know, if it does, we would see that it's broken. We'd wait for it to come down and retest, and we'd, you know, write it up before the sell.
Right.
And I mean, even if you're not available to place your trade, if you see that it's broken and it's up here and it hasn't made a retest, I'd go ahead and place like a buy limit.
Right.
Something, because you know when it retests, it's a high probability trade.
Right.
I think Head and Shoulders have like a 75 or 80% accuracy. So, you know, obviously there's going to be sometimes that it doesn't go necessarily your way, but that's what that comes back to risk, you know, managing your account and, you know, what you're risking versus what you're going for. So it's kind of a play of a few different factors that actually make you like real money over time.
So basically, we more do the confirmation on the daily, and then go back to the 4 hour.
Exactly. So we're looking at these patterns on the daily.
On the daily.
And then we're using the smaller time frames to actually find out what's happening, find the breakout, and, you know, enter the retest. So these are really the two main pairs that because I personally trade like 4 or 5 pairs like on the daily and the weekly, and that's all I'll ride. So, you know, Euro USD and AUD NZD are the two like main trades that I'm in. That being said, USD CHF is the opposite of Euro USD. So this is the other one I'll trade as well a lot of the time.
It's a good one too.
And so because we were saying, you know, if you keep in mind correlation, we said that Euro USD is going to be coming back up before it's a sell. And why that kind of makes more sense to me personally. Get rid of this line, actually. I don't know why that's there. Oops. Why that makes more sense to me personally is because, you know, we're on the daily, and if this Head and Shoulders that's forming
up
comes back down and retests, I know 1, this is coming back down for the time being, and 2, that'll probably be the same point that Euro USD breaks above that inverse Head and Shoulders. So I'd have a sell on this and a buy on the euro.
On euro.
On the flip side, this could very well, if we go down to the 4 hour, you know, this could very well break this structure, come down, and then it'd be a buy.
Yeah.
Which would mean that the euro is, instead of coming back up, it just dropped.
It's gonna drop.
Depending on what these do, like we're not guessing anything. We're just waiting on.
So you just wait for the breakout, basically.
So that's kind of my third confirmation is the correlation. If I see 2 different patterns that are opposite of each other on 2 pairs that correlate, that's a really good sign. So same with Euro USD, USD CHF, we'd be waiting for one of these 2 to break. And I mean, obviously, sometimes people will jump onto like the minute 15 or the hourly, and they'll catch these moves in between. But in my experience, there's a lot of awkward movement inside these like smaller time frames, as compared to the daily. I mean, you can get the same results.
Yeah, it's more smooth.
Yeah. So I mean, it's like, especially on this pair on the weekly, like this is going to, at some point in time, Because to me, that's an ascending triangle.
Mm-hmm.
So at some point in time, when the euro drops, even this level right here, this will be coming up. So these are just, I'll hold on to these for however many weeks, and at the end of it, that's, you saw audits. Yeah, I mean we're up 1,700, and it's been 2 weeks. So I'm not making money every single day, but I'm waiting on these trades, and then I hold them for a certain amount of time, and then that's my pay essentially.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of trying to make money, pull money every day, I mean, you can if you have the patience and you're right in the larger, you understand the patterns and what they're doing on the larger time frames.
Yeah.
If you're holding them for a certain amount of time, it's a lot easier to.
Yeah, instead of being on here every day, it's tedious.
Yeah, because I don't have time for that. I have a life.
Mm-hmm. Of course.
So that's kind of our approach. Am I recording this? Oh, thank you.
Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, it's a lot of. I've been doing this for a while. I mean, it's a lot simpler than all these EMAs. They'll throw in the indicators, RSI.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of different things you can do. Fibonacci, obviously, all these things kind of work to an extent.
Yeah, but when you train your eyes,
Yeah, essentially. Oh shit. So essentially, I mean, for one, indicators are they're lagging. They read past the price, and they make their decision based off of that. We're going off of human psychology. This is all math psychology. That's all these charts are. Is back and forth between buyers and sellers. We as humans, we move in patterns, and as much as we don't like to admit it, this happens over and over and over.
Mm-hmm.
What's actually happening, you're able to take advantage of it rather than depending or waiting on a pair to cross a certain EMA line or for the RSI to drop below a certain point.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's different tools, but it's just about what's going to work. And I mean, especially with patterns, it's like I don't have to do I don't have to be on my phone or my computer. I'm drawing these from my actual phone, and I'm not really drawing them. I'll go on the daily and I'll zoom out. And after a while of doing this, it's like riding a bike. Really, you start.
Yeah, you see whatever. Mm-hmm.
So it's more or less just the system behind it and how you approach it rather than the actual technicals.
Yeah.
Did that help you at all? I don't know what you've been taught in the past.
Oh my goodness. I mean, I paid for so much stuff that this is ridiculous. Ridiculous. I'm telling you. Because I have a lot of indicators and this one and this, this
I don't have anything.
Strategy and that strategy and and here you are with the simplest thing ever.
Yeah, I mean, look at my screen. Like, this is literally all I see.
Yeah.
It's like not a lot to take in.
So all these wiggly lines and colors and blue and red and wait till this one cross and that one cross and oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
It's ridiculous. It's crazy.
So,
but you know what? If I didn't, adventure, then we would never have met. So
true.
Everything happens. Take it for everything happens for a reason. So
exactly. So in terms of the question, like what trades to take. So AUD NZD, retest, Euro USD, we're waiting on that break. Same with USDC, Jeff. Like it's really that I don't want to say simple, but it's genuinely simple. It's just the execution that counts.
Yeah. How long does this usually take to like get into a trade when you're waiting like this? Like a day,
I mean,
hour, 2 days,
4 hours. So
4 hours.
in my mind, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday are the busiest trading days. So I figure this will probably, it might come down and retest, which I feel like is most likely the case. This is a 4 hour. So, maybe a couple days,
Mm-hmm.
a day, a couple days, depending on how much the market moves. So I'll check it, 2 or 3 times a day. Just open my phone. And then I'll normally have the line drawn, so.
Wow. Well, honestly, this is a whole different approach to what I'm used to. This is just like entirely different, completely different.
That's great. I like it.
Yeah. 100% completely different. Dimitri's stuff is all right too, but
I've known Dimitri for a while.
He's confusing, huh?
I've known him for a while.
You known him for a while?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's been. I've been watching him mentor for 2 or 3 years now.
Oh, wow. Wow.
It's always interesting.
Yeah.
Especially, I saw his group, grow.
Mm-hmm.
But that was kind of my goal, but more genuine and straightforward. But anyway, so that's kind of what we're watching for the week. I normally do update like webinars throughout the week, but normally I'll do like one comprehensive analysis at the beginning.
Yeah.
But I'm going to go grab some dinner. I'll let you go. I got to end this so the recording will actually process so I can upload it for everybody else.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm going to, I'll try and let you know whenever these are like good trades to take, because I'll be keeping an eye on them too. So if you miss them, I'll try and remind you.
I will definitely message you.
Okay.
I definitely will.
I will see you later. Have a great night.
Thank you so much for your time.
You're welcome.
I appreciate it.